Mousesports are no exception. I think they're both on 3-map win streaks on the map right now, and they both played very good teams as well.
I remember the days where Ninjas in Pajamas and Astralis were the main notable teams in Europe on Nuke, and everybody else was definitely a few steps below. Blade Stat team were really notable as well. Some great executes many years ago. We'll see what the execute is like in the pistol run. It's a lot of executions on this ramp position for both teams. Glaive finds himself in a 1 versus 4. Acor's been popped. Just needs to isolate some fights here and be quicker on the trigger finger.
Yeah, everyone came to play today. These shots are crazy.
Yeah, if he peeks into B, then elevation could be an issue. Speaking of elevation, most people are downstairs.
Is that one wrapping mini, maybe? Okay, back hell. All right, Dexter. This is a perfect rotation from Dexter because, you know, if it goes back through hut, he can go up the ladder, and if it comes this way, he can take the fight right away. Glaive's aware, but will he catch this off? Very nice.
Right, plenty of high I'm trying to say high explosive and HE at the same time. But let's see where they go with this.
Huge grenades.
Yeah, I was wondering if they'd be into the main position, some double HEs early on, but it will be delayed as we can see. Trying to allow Mousesports into a false sense of security. And that's part of why I picked Astralis in this series, is because of the grenade usage. Just what if we saw an Inferno, for example, it might be quite problematic, and that's perfect timing. Frozen exploded by Decon gives Astralis the man advantage.
It's a very interesting round already. So much to unpack. And there's some adjustments being made. Astralis are covering everything, actually. This is quite a smart round from them in general. More on that in a second. 3 on 5 now. They've got to steal back this eco round.
Acorn needs a headshot here. He won't get one. 5 HP, and that might be it. I think that's the rest of the investment in this round from Mousesports, really.
Let's talk about that for a second. So we pay attention to Frozen's rotations. When he saw the nade smokes outside, he shot a little bit and immediately ran to go to the front of Squeaky because he saw the split coming. So that tells me there was some very confident read there. Then he dropped vent to catch the guys going lower. But Astralis were even aware of his rotations very well. They even caught him with the nade through the smoke when they were crossing to lower, got downstairs. So this already feels like a very high-level match based on the reads that we're seeing. Mousesports being fully well aware of what that whole round was going to look like, but Astralis still being able to win it, and with worse guns.
Oh, man. Squeaky Dawn immediately put 2 HEs towards main, for example. They do them delayed. They do them like chain HE grenades. We talk about chain flashbangs to enter a choke point, but they're doing that with grenades as well, which keeps their efficacy up and their impact high. That's going to be part of the story in this series for sure. We will see the force buy back from Mousesports. Back and forth like this does not favor the CT side, of course. Acor will leave AWP money in the hole.
Yeah, they've got more expensive habits over on the CT side.
Very familiar with expensive habits.
You pay 600 for the fire bombs, James.
Yeah, absolutely. I want it in a nice container, you know, not a wine bottle with a rag outside. The man of panache. Well, this force buy has been neutered thus far by Astralis. Again, simply a team which limits your opportunity. But maybe there's something here for Dexter, although he walks into a sandwich.
I think a big reason why Astralis were in that slump was because Magisk wasn't as good as he used to be. Like in the, you know, he's always been the youngest player on the team and the newest, and for the longest time was just probably the strongest, just main rifler. Besides Dupree, they trade places, but in the past couple of months, like while Device was just on the team, those last couple of months, Magisk was really not himself. He wasn't really hitting his same shots. His impact wasn't there. But here at Flashpoint, the last I think 8 series or so, he's been topping up. You know, the one.
But this will be a nothing round for Mousesports, most likely, but maybe it's a something round. We have the Hero AK in the hands of Frozen. See him considering putting the smoke out, but since Astralis' smokes were so fast, he'll hold on to it. Fishing for something, not getting much of anything. So see if he rotates that AK-47. It has to be instrumental in a victory here. Dupree not shy to peek some angles. And down goes Dexter. Speaking of down, we can see Astralis heading towards Secret. Bobsky looking for a flank. They don't have that lurker that you'd normally see a bit late on towards T-Red, so he'll just keep an eye on things himself.
Yeah, not expecting that outside presence. And that's, yeah, that exactly That's exactly one of the reasons why it feels like they know each other so well. So right now, they've got Frozen sitting in the big garage, but no one's trying to flank Secret. There's no CTs out here pressed up against Red. And it feels like Astralis are not playing to anticipate that.
1 minute on the clock, and I would expect at this point there's a reasonable chance that Frozen just holds on to what he has. Well, unless he gets engaged up top, of course. We can see rotation being limited by the positions of Astralis. Really holding a complete formation here.
Yeah, this is different, man. Even for an anti-eco, this is kind of crazy. Normally you'd have, you know, your squeaky lurker to catch the vent rotators, or the hut lurker for different kinds of plays. But almost never you'd have both like this.
It's like a military formation, Astralis.
I like this.
That's basically...
Prove, I think, with any lineup that he leads.
Damn, if he goes 5-time, I want to see some spinneroonies.
That would be insane.
Style. Get the gloves out.
Yeah.
Well, Mousesports on the buy, A-Core, AWP, utility, quite light. But they have positions, such as the nature of the CT side.
I gotta say, Astralis are looking well drilled right now. Very well drilled. Some fresh stuff here. And that was, of course, roses because Mousesports didn't have much money to stop them. So they had 3 cross. There was no trades downstairs. But this is it's already a little bit of a weird round for Mousesports. They don't have much utility here. You know?
Yeah, so it's a light situation. And I would imagine A-Core would be looking to force some action to make up for that lack of utility. But for now, they'll be waiting. Some pot shots showing some presence from heaven. And Astralis will quietly walk past.
No pressure outside for Mousesports.
Yeah. This is the problem with Astralis, though. Like, if you respect your opponent, then too much, then that is a handicap for you. But if you respect them too little and you walk into their traps, then you know it's a fine balance to hold.
Catch 22.
They heard 1 player by Secret, but there are 3 of them. There's a boost peak, and Dexter will be more exposed than he was expecting. We've got Dupree holding the vent rotation, and indeed Astralis make their way. They're just outmaneuvering with military precision.
Yeah, part of the problem is, number one, they come into the round with such low utility. They don't have enough. They can't actually get enough control of things or create space. They're limited to like waiting for Astralis to make a mistake, and that outside cross is kind of the perfect counter to what we saw. Also, I think Astralis are putting pressure on the fact that Mousesports are not spamming the smokes. They had A-Core put some shots through the off, but Frozen has not been shooting any bullets on that cross. No nades have been dropped on the cross whatsoever. Look at Astralis have 500 HP and got downstairs and planted the bomb. This is a horrible sign for Mousesports, and I think there should have been at least 1 player who got some utility to be able to counter, and then got an MP9 or a FAMAS and got some nades. But I mean, at this level, there's got to be 1 or 2 players to make a concession. And if he had any idea of what it would be like, he would say, we have a really good chance of winning this round. This is going to be so difficult for them to pull anything off.
Well, they were somewhat ill-equipped in the round prior. That's a great difference from Frozen. Gets the opening kill on Bubsky. It's the kind of thing that maybe they needed in the previous round, but round number 6, Mousesports find their feet. Some good spray ducked by Glaive as he makes his way towards Secret. Again, Astralis really not giving many sound cues. There were footsteps from maybe 1 player in Secret previously after 3 went past, but apart from that, it is pure chess from Astralis.
Oh, man. Poor Frozen. I mean, he's done already so much. He got a kill. He's keeping eyes outside, and he's not hanging out around Big Garage in a way that he can get flanked. So Glaive has no one to hunt down just yet. In fact, Frozen's got the better angle for Glaive if he comes up to fight him. And Frozen also obviously is keeping tabs on the back of Mini. So here, that's his duel to win for sure. 3 on 5.
Smoke about to dissipate from a squeaky position. You can see Frozen still fishing outside. That's the bomb being shown by Magisk alone and now dropped. So this is a pretty dry round for Astralis, but they can look to have some impact. Fast 2K from Dupree. He doesn't get enough ratings for his burst ability with rifles, Dupree. It is absolutely outrageous. On the B-bomb side of Vertigo, we've seen some disgusting things from him, and maybe we'll see them later on if it goes to a 3rd map.
Frozen's got 4 kills here, looking for 5 to cap it off. Oh, Dupree trying to be annoying in the last 2 rounds. So honestly, I feel like I'd like to see some more support for Frozen, in fact. Some more flashes for him to be able to peek things. Because right now, he's literally just trying to shoot as much as possible. But he's at risk at every single time that he takes these duels.
Yeah, 4 1v1s collected by Frozen, or 3.5 if you will. One was through the smoke. Very good job indeed. As you can see, he was a big target for Astralis to have denial of information outside. Just trying to keep an eye on what's going on. We've got the closer smoke grenades from Astralis. They've got the anti-eco position in the lobby. Dupree creep through the smoke. That is brazen, but he's not quite sharp this time, and Dexter will get a 5 versus 4 for Mousesports. They've got a player on event as well. 3 men now in the lobby for Astralis, and they'll be dependent on Glaive to try and find something here as they're smoked off from Squeaky. 1 minute on the clock for Astralis to make a play.
This is a type of play that Glaive likes to make a lot, so they know it. And again, Frozen, he's got a passive position, but it's just going to deny a certain amount of space here in Robs. He's got an angle to get 1. Knowing it's Robs, he could probably get 2, but will they clear him is the question.
The bait setup works perfectly. Focus on Robs. Frozen pops out. He has the off angle for the instant trade frag attempt at starting to move away, but Robs does not need the help. Glaive now left alone as things start to slow down for Astralis as Mousesports start to grow in terms of their economy. Oh, knife out. Oh, Frozen's whiffed that one. 16 seconds, not much more for Glaive to do. I don't see a bomb plant coming, but... Or maybe. Let's see, we do have Acor down here, so it should be nigh on impossible. Misses the shot, and Glaive will be like, nope, I'm out of here.
Club's closed. Oh, he can die after time. And he will, in fact, actually. That's no money. 1 second ago? Oh, okay. Rob's had this perfect bait setup with him, and it looks so easy. But, you know, for him to make that decision to evacuate outside after Dexter gets his kill in mini, this is what really makes the round a lot easier. So Frozen's been going huge, really. In a way that it feels like Acor should be with, you know, controlling outside. But he hasn't been that necessary. Frozen's been doing all the work.
Some early harassment into A from Astralis. Mousesports looking to build a nice half now on their CT side, which is important. Not even seeing too much spray through the hut and such.
Yeah, so quiet.
Yeah, which is very, very nervous territory for a CT side.
I feel like the #1 thing in 2018, besides those HEs that you were talking about with Astralis, was the fact that if you ever used a little bit more utility than you were supposed to, they were just going to put their foot on your neck. So everyone's trying to play this game of chicken.
Oh, the collision! Ooh. That was the clue they needed. And they will begin the trade. Bemis gets deleted, and that's the bomb site taken. See if they can get a Molotov up towards the top. Indeed, they can. You can see that. That's going to force Mousesports away. 3 versus 4 scenario for them. The money's not spectacular for Mousesports, so decisions need to be made. They have just a 1 flashbang. So they may fish for some kind of kill. Acor may drop a smoke here for the retake. It does obscure vision from the low ground. Bobsky holding angles now. Ooh, that's a nice tag from Acor, but it looks like a save for Mousesports.
Oh, is that? Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, they're likely to lose everything if they push in here and then be back on eco territory, and that's not somewhere they want to be.
The entry's been super strong. That second duel onto BMAS, he gets a little nervous. Goes quiet upstairs for a second. They're in the smoke. He tries to drop off the hut because he was last spotted there. Magis just pushes through because he recognizes the immediacy of the situation. Kills BMAS, and then there's no way to hold upstairs. If there was that kill, really important way. Mousesports will only potentially have 1 buy after this. Might even have to save. They'll go right into the 2 op setup, in fact, and put an op in the hands of Rops. And I like this because the rounds have been kind of quiet here, even for Astralis. Wow, what a pre-aim.
Yes.
I'm actually shocked that didn't land.
Probably moving in accuracy. That was so quick from him. Love this pace there from Dupree. Some warning shots of a very different pace to what we've seen in the previous rounds on the T side. Lots of different looks from Astralis, but one thing is mostly consistent is how slow it's been. It was almost, the way they just went into A like last round was almost like a diver just emerging from the depths. A nice flick from Dupree outside, really hunting for these kills. 2AWP's Persisto for Mousesports. There is the first one from Rops. And now some of the position has been conceded. Chain flashes easily avoided. Does he have any help from the other side? Indeed he does. There's a swing for Acor. Not sure if people have passed him already, and he is going to get dropped. Completely misses that one. Then there were 3.
This is actually such a nice move back, I think, because Robs drops down, and that op is super powerful, but it's also kind of scared, right? He can't really come back and reclaim ramp control safely or in good conscience. So I think Astralis are going to try to use this to lock Robs into downstairs, make his rotation really hard, and I think they're actually going to come down to him. Wow. Okay, maybe they will actually run into this. We'll see.
They're so good with the angles, though.
Wow, yeah. I mean, they
Hugging
can't
the wall.
expect him here, though. Yeah. This is crazy. This is actually crazy brave from Robs. Oh, and another great jiggle.
Yep, stereo frags for Astralis. Wondering where Bemis is. Currently on the A-bomb site, Dupree lurking and looking. Got to be careful not to give up the AWP. Bemis is looking to go for it, it seems. He has a defuse kit, so we'll see what opportunity is afforded to him. Such a hard CT side, just a lack of information being offered, almost a full spray. One more bullet, and who knows, Zipex on 3 HP. And if he just fires that one bullet,
you never know
he probably
how close
goes for that, right?
Yeah.
But he has no idea.
You know, Mousesports lose this round, but I will say, I felt like I was going to eat my words. With the way that Robs played it on ramp, I was pretty impressed. Number one, when he missed the first shot and they jiggled him at the top of ramp, I was like, it's over. He's got to leave and he can't have impact anymore. But he decided to wait there to dodge flashes and then just trust that he hit the next shot. And Astralis assumed he would leave because he was scared he didn't. And then when they came in for the second...
by still pretty reasonable utility. 2 incendiaries, 3 smokes. Flashbangs are reasonable as well. Frozen's going to find a gap. See how many more cross. He knows that one's gone. Glaive can go around the Molotov. Mantis is going to get caught out with the bomb, however. What does Frozen do now? Bomb at his feet. Dupree holding the angle straight in the face. Thank you for playing. That'll be in Astralis' favour. They've got some possession downstairs. You can see Rops at the bottom of the stairs crouching now, not wanting to get end up in the same fate as Dexter did previously with the boost peak. And again, it slows down an Astralis cut noise.
They have to reassess the position now that Glaive has found this outpost into secret, especially with the bomb here. So the options are, of course, to try to drop via ramp and also play the clock a bit more because they have Dupree controlling outside to see if the CTs feel some pressure to make a move. Now, the natural adjustment for the CTs is to go and take over like lobby control, for example, but because sometimes that is so obvious, you don't want to do it. Now, they are still in 4v4, so they don't have every incentive in the world, but still. You know, Astralis want to maximize the clock since they have the time to work with, and they've already made good progress.
Plenty of rope being offered for Mousesports to hang themselves with, but they won't take the bait. That's a great response. Oh, he gets, oh no, Robs and Dexter combined. The 2 smoke kills, great position from Dexter, sees the bomb as well. And this round has changed dramatically. Patience paying off for Mousesports.
No way he did that. Spider-Man. Didn't even drop the hit. If he had, you know, quietly tried to get down the ladder and then softly touched the ground and then waited for them to drop, I think he would have missed the timing.
Dupree has to no powder there. There's still money for a full buy for Astralis. But this is a hard-fought for 4th round from Mousesports. What do you think of these rounds from like Mousesports?
Damage off on another player, or at least some info. Dupree's opping outside, for example. One crossed already later. He really just has been the only person to illuminate the round for Mousesports at all. Without him, like you're saying, I think Mousesports are almost blind gambling almost every round. So, to me, I'm a little bit worried about that volatility. Like, typically, it's your opper that you want to have trying to get that info more often because they can get it and survive. But A-Core, he's just been getting a kill here or there. It's another opening, which is worth more than any other kill, but Astralis already trade for some positional compensation. They get lower again quite quickly. A-Core's made a nice rotation downstairs. It's amazing to watch Astralis sometimes because they play differently versus different opponents. They don't just play their game, actually. And here they are trying to punish this lurky style of Mousesports, but Mousesports staying one step ahead.
Frozen's position, very important. Bomb dropped in no man's land, completely exposed. But maybe there's a chance if they can keep dwindling the numbers. There's reasonable time left for Astralis, but again, that bomb is an issue.
Where any lurk outside, he's going to have a favorable CT engagement for. Oh, one comes in the window. He can also hide from that. That's beautiful, man.
Well then, Dupree can race into the bomb site. The Molotov will try to stop him, but he gets into it early, but just before He can make it to the side beam.
Like they know these rounds are going to be quieter and a little bit longer, and they are trying to abuse that versus Mousesports. The game plan seems so specifically tailored towards Mousesports, which I can imagine makes it hard to play against, because Mousesports going to watch some demos, try to get a read on the situation, and Astralis are going to have a game plan that's just looking at their demo specifically. Now this lurk gets caught off. One more time, man. The amount of different spots and angles that Frozen is getting his kill from, this guy's anything but a one-dimensional player on this CT side.
Well, the main issue has been eliminated, and the rest will soon follow. Mousesports now building something. Mousesports are starting to bounce around a bit more, feeling some more confidence. We can see Acorn out, starting to head forward. But again, Astralis are waiting. They're always waiting, and that's a superior angle for dupreeh. Pretty hard for Rops to come out on top of that one. But Acor is here in possession of the ramp. 1 minute on the clock now as Astralis start to poke and prod. Astralis are quite light on utility, it must be noted, at this juncture. They've got a few flashbangs, a few mollies.
Yeah, that actually makes that push.
Makes his way downstairs. 22 seconds and the bomb's in secret. dupreeh making an entry on the A bomb sites in the meantime. Where do Mousesports go? How many sound cues do they have going downstairs? dupreeh charging into A now. He's entertaining. He's got a fine bone China at the T plates. The afternoon tea. The scones everything. Round number 7 is on the board for Astralis. How many
in the second half, what happens? There's so much preparation that clearly went into this game, and everybody's actually doing well. dupreeh was one of the question marks for me because his individual performance has been up and down since, he's picked up a few new roles. Bubsky is, he's down there, but the round score overall is like not bad. So here's a change of pace. They run upstairs quickly. Entries for Bubsky and Magus. Answered back by 2 CTs. Frozen tries to push through and find 1, but he only gets some damage.
That is a huge kill. Frozen's been such a problem for them. Astralis abusing numbers on the A-bomb site, and Acor's forced away again. 2 versus 3 with some high ground advantage. I'd imagine they'll give this a go, Mousesports. Rops picks up the second AWP. You can see him creeping now. 2 AWP retake, not the easiest thing. And with those smokes up reasonably fresh, Sipek still has 1 in the hole. That may limit the options for Mousesports after all.
So to go back to that quickly, we take a look at Bubsky's, 2 and 8, and he only had 1 and 8 before this round. Without his kill, maybe they lose. Like, it's actually nuts how much that value that 1 kill has. But nonetheless, his T-side performance is something I looked at before this match overall in the team. Because when he was a sub, this was the harder side for him, especially on Nuke. On TT side, he was getting better and better. On T side, it felt like he faded into the background, kind of like Xyp9x a little bit, where in that clutch situation like Maui's talking about, he's had trouble finding impact. Even though you'd think his brand of Counter-Strike suits nicely to any T sides overall, they're still working on integrating him into the roster. Now, on the bright side, in some of their bigger matches, like versus G2, he was a top performer on T side, but he still is one of the most consistent T side players on the team right now.
Last round of the first half. A common start with Squeaky blown off. Glaive walking in dry once again. Not really for Dexter's angle there with the FAMAS. 2 of the French guard. It's an overperformance from him. Great position held by Mousesports. Smokes up and mollies, and the Astralis can do no more. They got nothing from that situation. Now they are severely disadvantaged. Rops may have a free one trying to bait the shot, but that'll fail. Lost the angle himself, and dupreeh will get revenge. That's only the first kill for Astralis. That's some serious airtime from dupreeh. They've got some position towards the B bomb site, but how on earth can they hold on to things here? Got 59 seconds looking for a fast bomb plant while the grenades are up, but Frozen has other ideas about this round, other intentions. Bubsky now, 50 seconds on the clock, needs a multi-frag here. He's in so much trouble, dancing around the smoke. We've got 1 by Decon as well. Pressing forward, Dexter on 2 HP. Won't be the easiest clutch in the world, moving to the AWP here. That's an interesting approach, 56 HP. Door is open once again. He knows 1 is close. Scopes in. They'll hit that scope. Switches to Desert Eagle though. Catches Dexter off guard, throwing a grenade. And then there are 2 more to find. Oh my God! How's he found that one? He has angles on the bomb now. Has he got the flick though? Beamers!
Oh my God!
Jesus, Louise! How did he even see him?
I didn't even realize the op was an option in that situation. He almost had the entire thing mapped out.
That is quite an explosive way to finish a very...
We switch sides. Who knows what the preparation will look like, but we do know, I mean, this is one of the best CT nuke teams in history, so either result wouldn't surprise me. Cross downstairs, left 1 to lurk.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, it's really looking for that second one. Quick jiggle. He is at the point of no return now, dupreeh. There's a traffic jam, but they'll force their way through. Another barricade coming. Oh my god, the HEs, the high explosives. Let's call it the Astralis grenade. It's a nice pop from Rop's P250. Will be noted.
The vents, they can come with the vents now.
Indeed they can. Glaive has a high ground though towards heaven and multiple targets. If he can stay alive for the retake, that'll be something for Astralis. May not want to fight to the death here if he can try and avoid it. Spots Acor by Squeaky. There's some information. He pretty much knows where everybody is roughly, which will help Astralis start to move in. That should have been a free headshot for Bubsky. Too many shots to the chest and down he goes. Advantage Mousesports. No more HE grenades for Astralis. Has to be done with the pistols. Rop's holding up and now it's just Magic 1 versus 3. Frozen continues to be a problem for Astralis.
Upstairs. They should have won that fight. They didn't win it.
Yeah. And that's an interesting thing about like the P250 on the CT side has better armor penetration. So if you're hitting people in the chest, it makes more of a difference. That is quite the drive-by from Dexter. Worthy of a rap video. Yeah, you never see the P250 on because of the range for the headshots, right? On a CT side and a pistol round, but for armor pen, if it's going to be up close, it is something to consider. The Mousesports numbers being abused towards the B bomb site. Bubsky controlling control. Yeah,
they broke one window, so you might know, but this is a strong spot actually. Bubsky, you need control of control room to be safe. Look how their team gets split. My God, Frozen. He does it all. 13 years old. People were on Reddit talking about this kid. How he was going to be the next, the next generation talent to look out for. And for my money, one of the best in the role. Getting better by the day. He actually came back. 2020, he had all-time lows in his career. But actually, a lot of the Tier 1 talent had all-time lows in 2020. It was a tough year for everybody, for many reasons. So, but since then, he's brought it back drastically. I mean, go look at that graph for yourself on HLTV. Frozen has recovered his form dramatically.
Got a Desert Eagle for Magisk. Well then they go to the A-bomb site. Beamer's clearing CT red. CT event, sorry.
Nothing like a free site. Do I have it wrong? Was it Mousesports who beat Astralis in their map win streak in 2018? Remember the first team that did it? Was it Mousesports?
Don't ask me to remember something. It's not a good idea.
You might have been casting, James.
I think I was. This is the problem. The game really begins into the meat and potatoes now. Gravy optional. Org for Zipex, the rest with M4A4s, and some good utility for Astralis. Oh, look at that. Chunky damage with a HE from Astralis. Never saw that one coming. Frozen will be outside once again. The sentry for Mousesports.
Look, I want to draw a contrast, okay, because I feel like Mousesports misplayed a bit in the first half where they didn't put enough pressure outside. I don't want to pay attention to how Astralis deal with outside. And look how seriously they take it. Glaive, man, he is not going to be shy here. They've also got dupreeh inside secret. I don't think dupreeh's position is known yet. He made this early rotation to stack it. Means upstairs a little light right now. There's no one in front of Squeaky, even though Magisk is the one who's responsible for it. And still, we've got a CT peek. That is actually a lot of info for Bubsky to get away with. This will rock Mousesports,
Yeah, dupreeh had plenty of sound cues from Secret as well, so they know that Mousesports are targeting the heaven position, and there he pops up to deny Frozen. Then we find ourselves in a 4 versus 3.
The amount of options, as soon as Bubsky sees 3 people outside, the amount of options for the CTs are limitless. Number 1, dupreeh knows his targets aren't coming towards him. Number 2, they can take hut control because lobby is understaffed. And Rops actually only has a UMP here. But this starts with Glaive getting the opening kill like Frozen, getting lots of damage off, and then also overstacking outside in general.
25 seconds on the clock. There are 3 Astralis players on the high ground. I.e. on the B-bomb side. Bubsky with the most awkward angle possible.
Well,
buys enough time.
Them going to head-to-head I think will be interesting. And Glaive is the guy who is he's the warden of outside on this team. But they're actually doing the exact same play. Interesting. And the fast cross is coming too. Sheets have no idea. dupreeh might even get 2. He gets some damage at least. Confirms 2 more on the cross. Again, this opens up lobby to be pushed, and Glaive is still here. Look at spamming down smokes.
High explosive kill.
He said, I don't care if you know where I am. I'm going to get some damage off if you don't try to kill me, and that is the op-down outside.
Their grenade damage is, I'll never take it for granted. It's just outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. 4 versus 2. shut down. Matt just pushes lobby again, and Rops just, there's too many angles for him to deal with. And that leaves Bemis with 1 minute on the clock and an AWP half health.
That was audacious, you know, for Mousesports. No, that was audacious for Astralis, excuse me, to copy and paste their play from last rounds. And even funnier that Mousesports went with the same play as well. You know, rock, paper, scissors, and both people picked the same thing twice.
Yeah, the CTs always need to be offering different looks so as not to be targeted based on their habits. But Astralis may be playing against that expectation. Some jump peeking, and Bemis has been spotted. You know, he's against the clock now. Got to find a kill here. The crosshairs
He
in the
often
right.
puts performances down to how well he played. And today he's actually having a really, really strong game. He's 11 and 13, but if you have a pair of eyes, you can see how much impact he's had already.
You can see it with one eye as well. Let's not
Yeah,
malign people, Launders.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's be inclusive.
Maybe you can hear it as well, in case you can't see it all.
3 Desert Eagles and a P250 for Mousesports.
Didn't mean to alienate anyone.
I remember there was a blind person who played Mortal Kombat. I only saw it on YouTube though.
I'd be sad if I lost to someone who was blind playing Mortal Kombat.
Especially because it has a dedicated block button as well. Yeah, that'd be very interesting.
And did they win, or like a lot?
I don't know. I mean, I would imagine it was like select highlights because it's YouTube, right? So
yeah. Grinds 1,000 games. But there was a blind StarCraft player in Korea.
Really?
I actually don't even remember this.
How?
People are nuts, man. I watch a lot of Dark Souls. People that beat that game with instruments. I've seen someone beat it with potatoes.
Potatoes?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I need links, Launders.
Yeah, I'll give you all the links.
They've moved into the lead with 3 rounds in a row, 11 to 10, and AWP on both sides. AK-47's out for 4 of the 5 Mousesports players, and Magis just continues pressing forward, but Acor is expectant. Astralis raising the heat, or trying to, but Mousesports have picked the right play this time. Or have they? Glaive still creeping outside just when you thought it was safe to take some liberties. All the smoke will be deployed, but if Mousesports don't go outside, they have to assume that Astralis know this based on Glaive's position.
That was right on the lineup. And this is a strong off angle, and the AUG makes it even stronger. AK might stick out in this spot. Xipix nails one, but a great refrag. I mean, the spacing is impeccable. Bubsky from up top sees the bomb in his vision. One in front of Squeaky. This is a problem for the CTs. It's now a one-on-one. Flick comes in from Dupree. He has been lights out today. Decides not to... Oh, make that rotation!
Shut it down!
He's got the hardest... You know, he's up before. He's off for an entire tournament, but he's got the hardest job in terms of role switches right now with Device leaving. The shoes are just that big.
The statement maker. Dupree. Oof, I felt that one in my bones.
He's also not like Device, so even if you switch his 2 Device's role, they've got to bring a different culture into the lineup. It's got to be a new team.
Exactly.
That's the real challenge.
They can't replicate, they must innovate.
Yeah.
4 Desert Eagles on the road for Mousesports. Dupree, a footman. Not really finding what he's looking for on that occasion. Downstairs we go. 1 minute on the clock. Mousesports would love a bomb plant. And there's a reasonable chance of that. Xipix the only man downstairs at present. They creep towards the bomb site. Maybe inspired by the Astralis peak in the first half. We'll have that boost. Looking towards Decon. Have you ever worn a hazmat suit?
I wore one in China, but I think I was supposed to get fined for it. I was in the hotel room. It was like a fire.
Okay, never mind. So Mousesports are moving into the B bomb site, and there's potential for a rifle. I just wasn't expecting that response at all. That's a nice headshot from Dupree, up close. An important one. If they lost that AWP, then who knows what happens. He's low though, he's in trouble. The jiggle could be a problem. He actually goes for it as well, but Frozen's got a taps in. That's a big escalation now. Dexter with the Desert Eagle will make things even more interesting. Acor doesn't have any Kevlar, but Frozen's doing the job of this AUG. 2 kills so far. It's at 1 versus 2 now. Bubsky on the bomb. Sure, he doesn't get all of this, and indeed, we were looking at a bomb plant, but somehow Mousesports
from both sides. It's very unlikely to see a situation like that be pulled back. But some great AUG work, and that's kind of sometimes why you don't buy the AUG, because you don't want even the T's to get it.
Yeah, it does shred. This is a very big round for Mousesports. There's a lot of potential in this one round, because if they can break Astralis here, this could be the run to keep them on the back foot, keep them a bit broke, and maybe steal Nuke away. The pick of Astralis. Frozen having a look, but Glaive will decide when he chooses to engage, and Frozen won't know if there's other angles being held here. Glaive just teasing, showing a bit of flesh, slowing Mousesports down somewhat. You can see them heading towards the ramp area now, where Zipex waits. He doesn't have much support at the moment, but Glaive is on the way, so perhaps there's a hard read here.
Yeah, wow, the op is coming in to lead, and there's an opportunity for a pick, but the peak is so annoying here from Glaive. And he's not going to give him another one. You know, this is all he has to do.
There are no grenades on the ramp for Zipex or Glaive, so there's not much they can do really. And you can see they're choosing not to engage, but hold position instead. They have a smoke, and that's it.
They can kind of contain here. They got the 2 rotations downstairs, and now Robs is here to watch out upstairs. Actually, you know, Mousesports have a really good amount of control. They've still got a player outside, back mini, and there's only one person upstairs. It's a perfect opportunity for Mousesports to hit upstairs, and I think they know, since seeing Glaive, that the rotation has come this way. Props comes this way out of Squeaky, and then they just bust. There's actually 3, but one of those players is in Vent. He had no chance of actually winning the duel. This is a fantastic round from Mousesports. You know, made possible by Frozen telling them that nobody had pushed outside, and by Robs making sure that no lobby crunch had come in.
Yeah, again, this is a huge opportunity which has been seized by Mousesports, just taking all the money away from Astralis. And when we're this deep into the game, that's a problem. If they, we'll see what Astralis choose to do with the weapons that they're holding on to, if they buy around them. There are tough decisions that have to be made now by the Danish side. And Mousesports indeed have put themselves in a very strong position late on Nuke.
This might give them 14 based on the money. Depends how the rest of this round goes. And that's already 5,000 bucks down the drain.
That's another huge kill, which actually quite limits their decisions even more.
For everything they need just yet. Well, I think they should. It might have been a good round to actually call a pause, because this is kind of a. I don't think it's totally clear exactly what's going to happen in the future. And then on top of that, they've got to figure out a cool play for Dupree on this round. But maybe he has a good idea already.
Yeah, their money is together at least, Astralis. Almost everybody, the average is like 2,200.
They stacked upstairs. If Mousesports come into this blind, Dupree has full information outside. No CTs are going to move. They are scared of lobby.
Yeah, the problem is they have USPs, Astralis. They've got pea shooters, potato guns. Zipex makes his one work, but I think the result here is somewhat inevitable, and now Dupree has a lot of time to try and hide. Just shift walking away. See where he opts to go.
I don't think an op's coming otherwise, at least no op on armor, nades, or anything, so it's important. Sometimes we turn our brains off in these, you know, post-round situations where there's a save going on, but if we had a look into Dupree's mind, he's sweating a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see how much respect he's given. Very important he holds on to this. But for Mousesports, they've got such a chance now. Ooh.
Oh my god.
Ooh, you have to wonder about the backpack on his back and so on, if it's been showing.
He doesn't seem like Dexter knows.
Does he run out the door to avoid the bomb?
This is just, yeah, there's just so many ways. Oh my god, he actually will. But he won't get spotted. He's all good. And yeah, this makes a difference, man. They're going to buy behind this. The question for Mousesports is, do they know it's a full buy? But they can play it like an anti-eco at first and try to get some information. Let's see if Astralis give them any tell. Some nades go back outside. They're not being shy right now. Bubsky already down to half HP. Rob's putting some damage down Squeaky. Bubsky with an angle over the smoke. And they are both being quite proactive early on in the round about peeking things. It feels like a duel is coming soon. And Dupree, I mean, his #1 job now is, how do I get to the right angle to be useful without falling for a nade and having to rotate? This is what, you know, Device was the king of, just being in the right place at the right time. Let's see if Dupree has that quality as well.
He has an incendiary, which could be crucial if there is to be an execute into this bomb site. But having the AWP, you need to be on that scope, so that could lead to some awkwardness.
Ooh, the read. They stack it.
1 minute on the clock for Mousesports.
Same position as last time, James. One outside, holding Robson lobby. Acor peeking into the ramp.
Oh, pop grenades are out. Glaive will start the proceedings. Zipex is here as well. The bomb won't get dropped just yet. You can see a little fallback now. Dupree with the off angle, the AWP. Fell back from the A bomb site, but look at the rotation from Mousesports and have a look at Frozen's position. I think he got some sound cues from the hot player as well, so there could be some real trouble here. Magisk has to be traded though. Bubsky and Magisk with 4 kills combined.
Upstairs now, even though they just tested Glaive, and he still manages to get 2. Magisk with this play, getting flashed through the smoke. Bomb dropped in his vision with 2 more outside. Again, this is worse for the T's every day of the week. We have Rops inside watching the lobby crunch, but Glaive's eyes are peeled now.
And that one has escalated quickly as we head towards the clutch rounds. 13 apiece.
They waited out. Actually, Astralis don't get any info here inside the ramp. Dupree looking for the dual A car, a bit too sharp.
Glaive now trying to make something happen. This is disaster territory for Astralis. They don't have the money to back stuff up here like Mousesports do to some degree. They are in so much trouble. Now the numbers game is surely going to be abused by Mousesports. 1-for-1 trade leaving Zipex alone versus 3 players. See if the clutch minister will go for it. Dexter by that CT vent. Zipex not being offered anything with ease.
You know, what's also been difficult, I think, for Zipex is these days, the saves are becoming much more common. You know, the 1v2s even oftentimes are not even worth attempting. If you got a 40% win rate, having this gun for the next round, it's less encouraging of clutches. It makes the clutches more special, but it also makes them more risky. And here's a round where I actually think Astralis make a mistake, okay? So they have a very similar setup, but they get the info with that play with Magisk. And the previous time they did this, they had Glaive follow up and like try to punish outside. Mousesports make a good play by actually staying outside and whatever, re-aggressing. But Astralis get no compensation off the information that they gained
best
outside.
Efforts. They would only require 2 rounds. Mousesports with such opportunity, they've got a full buy in the hole to some degree, especially if they plant a bomb in this round. Now, last time, we had lots of USPs on the A bomb site. The situation is somewhat different now that there are 3 Deagles and a P250. Incendiary and a high explosive as well. And they are never to be taken for granted in the hands of Astralis. And it starts with the Desert Eagle. Rops deleted, and Magisk is just going to run and pick up the rifle, it seems. A swarm around the lobby. They'll lose one, but they'll claim one as well.
He has armor as well. They have a AUG on top of this.
Oh my god.
He's crispy. He's mad.
4 versus 2. This is a catastrophe.
This is insane. They're going to need this duel. Mousesports have to win this swing, and they can. Another headshot for Magisk.
That angle is beautiful. He's further away from the point of contention there. Led Dexter into a trap, and Frozen now 9 HP versus 3. Would be a career highlight if he could convert this one, but how on earth could he possibly? Look at the angle being held by Zipex.
Now to 14.
No chance.
And anything goes. Mousesports fumble at the goal line. That's an opportunity to close out. They could have got 15 versus Pistols, and now they've got a much harder round to win. But they've had a fantastic T side so far.
Magisk hears the grenades being deployed, moves closer to the vent. Bubsky now is his turn to hold things down. The bomb's been dropped on the A bomb site. Frozen and Rops remain. 4 Astralis players are up. They are back with a vengeance.
The tempo change comes in, but they falter.
And my god, Mousesports are going to have to do this the hard way now. They were just pulling away control from Astralis, and individual performance from Magisk, and look at what we're left with. The AK, a hero weapon. Look at the lack of grenades for Mousesports.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can do 10 things right in a row, but as soon as you make one mistake, that's when you can actually just lose the match.
It's not lost yet, but my god, their percentages are so low right now. Dexter with the AK-47. Frozen close to a 30 bomb, but it might not be enough in round number 30. Dupree going fishing. Hold on a second. It is Frozen now on 27. Having a look-see. Catches Dupree in the middle of nowhere. Has he done enough, though? No weapons collected, but Mousesports are swarming towards B bomb site. Rops has a potential flank.
Oh!
And there's one from Dexter with that AK now. Suddenly, it's Magisk and Bubsky alone. 2 versus 4. Mousesports fighting for overtime. This game of Nuke keeps on giving. Straight through the smoke and straight to the floor goes Magisk, and it's Bubsky left now. 1 versus 4. Last round, he's got to go for it. Some grenades will be nice, but cosmetic in this round, perhaps.
Oof.
It's not over just the first map. Imagine if this was the deciding map. It would be utterly insane. We saw some crazy nukes yesterday, and it will continue here. Overtime, Astralis versus Mousesports. A huge match here at Flashpoint. And it continues. Frozen versus Glaive on the outside. Mousesports now with some pace. See what time they deploy the grenades outside. Just shy of a minute 30. There's a Molotov deployed by Glaive to try and thwart some of these smoke grenades, but they're up reasonably. Spraying again is Glaive, quietly making his way into main now. Got to be careful though. Avoiding the bullet somehow. He has created a gap for himself, but Beamers has the angle first.
He sprays, he waits. A huge bait game in dupreeh in a new location. He's been up there at the top of Secret, but this is more of a rotator spot. The T's get control of this position. They don't have to peek him.
He and dupreeh will get some sound cues here.
I love the call here from Mousesports. Astralis' hand is forced a little bit with the amount of times that it's been downstairs, and now Mousesports go for heaven control. dupreeh's almost always been inside of Secret somewhere. If this is just off of probabilities, this makes a lot of sense. And they pull the Bubsky rotation downstairs.
Ooh.
The lobby push comes out, which is only going to open up heaven, I think. Magic's last known location, and he could get bullied in the spot. Tries to control for the spray.
He found a bomb, but Astralis have got really bad positions. Akor's just conceded his spot. They can deal with him. Surely he won't be ready for this one. Still deploying grenades. There's no way he looks to his left. dupreeh's got to have a better angle. 3v3. The bomb's not even planted just yet. 15 seconds. They've got to plant it for heaven now. It's their only option. And Beamer's holding things down. They can see xyp9x trying to take that plant away. That makes it a 2 versus 3. dupreeh waiting for a peek from Beamers. Whose role is it to have a look towards main? We can see some jump peeking from default. Because he Frozen knows what's going on, so Beamer's unlikely to peek just yet. Almost, he's threatening to. dupreeh's waiting for it, and this is burning the clock down. But in the meantime, Bubsky is abusing this to move forward. Rop's deleted now. I don't think they've seen Frozen jumping at default, and there he is. dupreeh now 1 versus 2, but the best chances have come and gone, and he's got to fall away.
That was actually perfectly played on the retake by Astralis, but also BMAS not peeking, overextending in heaven. The only way to draw him out in that spot was to have Bubsky get the second kill, and then it would have been Astralis to be able to win the round. xyp9x knowing that he can do, the only thing he can do from this position is hold the strong
one round in the bag, and you can already see the shortcomings for Astralis if they lose this one as well. xyp9x on $450, so the pressure is high. We've seen individual performance from both squads when they've had a hero rifle from a pistoling player, but that may come later. We shall see. Mousesports looking to breach the ramp, see if there's a pop flash for them. Just emerging through the smoke. They could line up for xyp9x here. This could be brutal. It could be, but it won't be. Beamer's ready for it. Separating the two, but Magic again having impact in the lobby, taking 2 players out. Man advantage as they move towards the B bomb site, and dupreeh is on the chase. Moving around with the AWP. He has some position for his team. Akor taking control of control. But Astralis have intentions in that direction. That's quite a meaty flashbang, but he still has angles. Akor, Dexter looking to open the doors and help out. Good for one, closes the door and he's out of there, or is he? dupreeh will deny him a no-scope, leaving Beamers in a 1 versus 3. There's a trade from Magic. It's got a much-needed round for Astralis.
Yeah, a great retake. Again, this time it works out because they have the numbers. That opening kill can mean the world, but this time it's Magic, who's just been a beacon around whoever's favored is winning more often because both teams are playing very well. So, okay, a round apiece. Where will we land?
Last round of overtime, only one Mousesports player has upgraded from a Glock. Akor has a deagle, everybody else still with Glocks, so that's something to think about for the future. Rops will be dispatched of in this final round of the first half of overtime, but Akor has a superior angle to dupreeh, and the numbers are tied once again. That may limit the aggression from Glaive, or will it? Dancing around the smokes in the garage. Drops a flash, avoided by Akor, but there's a man advantage again for Astralis. And Glaive slips away. So many smokes up, so many options for him, and he is out of there.
Yeah, smart enough to know. The only key to victory that they need at this point is to get into one-and-done positions. It's not always the case, but in a spot like this, they've got more than enough. Glaive is still being frisky outside, actually. This is honestly a way back in for Mousesports, but it looks like for him the round is not done yet. Op coming back to try to trade him. Glaive's got some ants in his pants.
This is killing time for Mousesports as well. Glaive's just slowing them down, just becoming a nuisance. vermin in the garden that he can't quite get rid of. But a jump peek there. How about that for a smoke grenade? Anything could be behind that. 28 seconds now. Mousesports may feel stuck. xyp9x going on an expedition. Bubsky with a very aggressive angle. Control may be a problem though. It may concede his position. You can see him moving over now as the door is open. Wins the duel with Dexter, traded by Acor. Mollies are down. 14 seconds to plant a bomb. That is quite a shot from Acor. And it gives Mousesports a chance. Suddenly, Glaive versus 2, creeping by double doors, they're open. There's the pick from Beamers, and he deletes again. Plays that you want to see from Acor again, a man who needs to stamp his authority in the AWP position for Mousesports. That is one way to do it. High pressure round as well, very important kill from him. We'll see if there's more in the tank now as he moves to the CT side of Mousesports. Looking for 19 rounds for a victory. Mousesports need 2, Astralis need 3. Some Lego building from Astralis towards the ramp. So they wait for a peek from Mousesports. And again, that Astralis pace resumes once they move to the T side once again. Lots of guesswork for Mousesports and off angles.
Looks like we've run it back to the beginning of the game almost with the style and brand of T side that Astralis are playing here. Glaive looking to get a lurk off fully downstairs, not expecting Acor to be in this rotation, and this allows the his other teammates to move around a little bit more freely. But of course, Acor is smarter than to just sit in a spot and wait.
40 seconds for Astralis.
Refreshing the smoke on Squeaky is enormous for guising where the CTs can go, if they're going to be in mini or how many are upstairs.
Yeah, they're pretty spread out now. 29 seconds on the clock. Makes me wonder, is the bomb... Well, are the teammates going to head towards ramp? Is it going to be event play?
No way.
My God, that timing is utterly ridiculous. That's a death-punching moment for Acor. And Bubsky now. Bubsky and Magisk allow things to turn around. xyp9x catches the rotation. That is a curse. How do they do this? That is black magic. That's sorcery.
The tiniest string on a ball of yarn. It pulls, it gets pulled. The entire round falls on its face. Acor didn't even move from that spot. All he did was camp his position, came up to re-smoke Squeaky, went right back, said, nobody else needs help? We all good? I'm going to stay in this spot then, locks it down, and it is the spot that Astralis go to, and they dry peek him as well.
It turns on a dime.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Perfect timing. That is
no matter who
brutal.
You're cheering for, you have to put yourself in his shoes.
That's the sheer brutality of even witnessing that is just something else.
Yeah. That's a live leak.
That engagement is the round.
They're just in that. I don't know. You could say, where was he going to go from that spot? But geez, so unlucky, so unlucky. Okay, Glaive, there's a crack on the smoke, but he gets past. They try to put some spam damage down. They put some pressure on Frozen to watch his back. And this is part of the magic of being able to cross in early. Robs makes this hasty rotation downstairs. Ramp is open for a second. Dexter also meets him down here. And I like the confidence here from Mousesports, but it looks like Astralis are actually peeling back out of lower. So they're the ones who win. Again, rotations downstairs are easy. Rotations back up are hard. So as soon as those CTs start coming down, this is when the Ts start to feel more confident.
I don't know. Oh, that's a lot of targets for Acor. Hits one of them. And I think Frozen may have heard the scope from Secret earlier on. Just though further away from the point of contention, and he only needs half a chance. Heading towards heaven now. There were some audio cues there. Dexter on the flank. He could drop the bomb, but xyp9x has the angle. It's information for Astralis at least, if not a frag. That's got to speed them up, surely. Magisk now towards heaven. Glaive holding the angle, and Beamers has got a nice one. That's the bomb on the radar as well. Dropping off. You can see Bubsky looking for the hunt, but he's got to be careful of main as well. He will get the kill he's looking for. Magisk on the outside, still holding angles now as he looks to plant a bomb towards main, but Bubsky has dropped 1 versus 2. Magisk commits, and Acor is here. A careful shot from him, and Mousesports find themselves with game points.
Doesn't play it scared at all. Could have actually had Wally wins his duel versus Secrets, then probably Astralis win the game. And he chose on his own terms to be in that spot to watch Secret. He hasn't been incredibly sharp this game. That duel catches up with him. We okay?
Glaive on roller skates outside. Some water went down the wrong pipe, but I'm all right. Thank you. We've got 3 more from Astralis, waiting for the smoke to go. Frozen now. Playing off of Acor's AWP, it seems. A little jiggle, a crouch peek. And Acor is dead. A burn from Frozen. Can't find a transfer, however. 4 versus 3. Beamer's popping out. Great headshot from him. And he falls back. Does not outstay his welcome. 3 versus 3. Minute 13 on the clock. Rob still lurking with the second AWP.
Is Dexter ready watching heaven? Pushing in right now. They're about to meet here. Dexter fully prepared.
Is that the frag? Oh, that really changed everything. Rops now drops the bomb, which leaves Zipex with a lot to do. There's enough personnel for that bomb to be well protected. It's behind blue. Zipex has no grenades, no smoke, no flash, nothing. Just has to play and find these entries. Not sure if anyone's close enough to hear him moving just yet. 44 seconds to find 3 kills. Rops going deep outside. That's a huge headshot for Zipex. 35 seconds now to make a play. We've got a lurk smoke from Dexter and Bemis with the sound cues by CT Vent.
This would be unbelievable, to be honest. He's got the bomb, 25 seconds. Not much room to rotate back and forth. Not much room to fake plant if you'd like to. Molly comes down to the vent, doesn't expect his opponent to be there just yet. Opportunity now to plant. Anyone in decon? No. But we've got a CT coming from Con. That's the round done with. That's the map done with. And Mousesports finally, after getting to the round 30, being forced into OT after messing up an eco, pull it off in overtime.
That was a massive game of Nuke. One of the strongest games, I think, from both sides I've seen in a very long time.